Hello everyone, I see no trades here. Today I want to go over my trades on SPY. I got both puts and calls today, profiting a total of $208 for the day. Both trades combined didn't last me more than 30 minutes, so let's see what I did to capture these trades. So after markets closed yesterday, we see this fair value gap that formed right here. And so we marked this out on a 4-hour chart. We also mark out this fair value gap back here on our 4-hour chart. This is all to see where price wants to target for what would have been tomorrow, which is today. And then there's another fair value gap we mark out. Well, not really a fair value gap, just a gap in the market we mark out on the day chart, which is right here. One second. Make this one a deep red. So these 2-hour fair value gaps were marked out to see where price wanted to go today. This red one is a gap in the day chart to see if price was either going to close the gap and fill the gap or reject the gap, which we see happen throughout the night. So jumping to our entry, I'm going to add another chart here for simplicity's sake. Right here. Alright, so now we have two charts. We're going to have this one be on our 15 and this one's going to be on our 5. Perfect. So, first and foremost, let me see what time I did everything. So I'll probably fast forward all this for you guys, but just give me a second. Alright, sorry it took a while, but so throughout the night, I don't know why I'm pointing, like y'all can see where I'm pointing at. Let me use this. Let me use the mouse. But throughout the night, we see price just drop throughout the night. We get to market open, which is, right here at 9:30. And we're looking for price to target this 4-hour fair value gap that we created, in the aftermarket of yesterday. So we wait for the retracement, which is, this move right here, this retracement after it has dropped. I also don't trade until after 10 o'clock, so we can go ahead and mark that out. So right here, we'll go ahead and do right there. So I'm not trading during this whole time period at all. But after, I'm looking, I'm waiting. I see this retracement up here, and I know we still need to, target this fair value gap that I made in the 4-hour during that aftermarket. So I end up getting my puts right here. This is where I got my puts for the day. I got my puts right here, and this one made me a total of, I want to say, $159 on this trade. Let me make sure. I'll skip this part as well. Yeah, $159.48. So I'll put that one up on the screen. But this was the first trade. I wasn't in it for that long. I was in it for about 24 minutes. And then I ended up just selling out. I should have stayed in it longer, as we see right here. But, I saw my profit of 159 in 24 minutes. I was like, I'll take that and then, keep it pushing. And I'll find another trade later on, which I did, which is over here. But the way I captured this trade was I used the polyline tool. And I ended up creating a W. And in hindsight, this hadn't formed yet. So, I saw the W starting to form like this. And I ended up just, where is the horizontal tool? I ended up marking this out as our, where the breaker structure would be. And I ended up getting my calls a little bit earlier because I was like, I know this is gonna form a full-fledged W pattern. So let me just go ahead and get these calls now. So I'm already in the game. And, It went through the breaker structure, and I sold off at the top right here simply because I saw $55 and I just wanted honestly break out the day at around 200. So I was perfectly fine ending the day there. So I sold off for 55. I probably could have held this for more as well, but it's not what this is about right now. It's about scaling and just kind of building and building into the point where we can hold these contracts for as long as we want. And if it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, then we made bread. These are my trades today. again, this one lasted about 24 minutes. This one lasted about like 8 minutes. I wasn't even in this one for that long, but 8 minutes and $55. I mean, shoot, I'll take that all day. Basically free money. Not really that much else going on. Let me see. We did test our 4-hour fair value gap, which was perfect. We ended up retracing out of that. So let's go on a 4-hour chart real quick and see how that reacted to it. But I mean, this was the reaction from it right here. It ended up going in and then kind of pulling out a little bit, and then after we ended up having a blue candle form, taking us out of that fair value gap, which is exactly what we wanted and what we were looking for. So the pre-market and after-market analysis worked out exactly how we wanted it, and therefore we captured some pretty good trades today. Hopefully we can continue and end the week off with hopefully another 200 tomorrow would be nice. But not really too much to go into with these trades. Great use of patience, I'd say. Not trading before 10 o'clock. I don't know what I could have done before then to even, I don't know what I could have done. But good use of patience. Could have held longer, but like I said, we're here to scale. We're not here to make generational wealth overnight. As much as that sounds like it's awesome, but that's not how trading works. You gotta be patient and stick with it.